everyone, let me put that down. My name is Yesenia Arenas. This is going to be my very first video, YouTube video about books. I have done some videos in the past about planning, and I was very big into like planning stickers and making my spreads, and unfortunately I can't do that anymore. I do not have the time to sit down once a week and like place a whole bunch of stickers down in a planner and make weekly spreads. I do miss it. Like my spreads, I really love them. They were beautiful, they were colorful, they were bright, and I felt like they did help me stay more organized. Hey everyone, so editing Yesenia here. As you can clearly see, I have no makeup on and my hair is a giant mess. It's late Saturday night and I just wanted to quickly insert a clip into my video because I kind of cut out a giant, I felt like it was an unnecessary rant. So what you're gonna see is you saw the cutoff and then the next clip is gonna say time to read again. So that's where I kind of cut it off. I just wanted to say that I now finally have time to read again because the first semester of this crazy school year is finally over. So just wanted to quickly jump in and say that, and please excuse the hot mess that currently is my face. To read again. And I wanted to film some videos like earlier in the month of January. However, oh my God, this month was so freaking crazy. First semester, so today is Friday, January 31st. Our first semester has officially ended today. Second semester starts Monday, February 3rd. This week alone was insane. My students were highly stressed. I was highly stressed. I was trying to get everything done for final exams. I was trying to get copies made. I had to double check that my final exams, didn't have any typos, and guess what? They had typos. But now I know to fix those typos for this semester. And students were like scrambling, trying to get everything in. I was trying to get grades in. I was trying to get projects graded. I was trying to get final exams graded. Thank goodness today, kids had early dismissal. They got out at 11:30, and I literally had from 11:30 to 3:30 to grade and plan and get things ready for Monday. Oh my God. That's a teacher's dream. So with that being said, now since it's the end of the semester and it's the end of January, I feel like I can relax again. Not completely, but like I'm not highly stressed anymore. My first semester grades are done. I don't have to neglect my reading right now. So I'm so excited to get like back into the swing of things. I'm gonna try to set a really high goal for myself for the month of February for my TBR. And if I don't achieve it, I don't achieve it. That's okay. But I at least want to set the goal really high. So that way, that is the expectation for myself, if that makes any sense. Like if my goal is really high, I'm going to work that much harder to reach that goal because I set it so high. So first things first, there were some books that I started in January that I will be able to finish in February. I started 3 books in January that I did not get to finish by today, which was my hope, at least 2 out of the 3. But I should be able to finish them by next week. The first one is an audiobook that I'm listening to right now, and it's the second book in the Shadow of the Fox series. I don't know the name of the trilogy. I can find the name of the trilogy and maybe insert it later. But the second book is called Soul of the Sword. So I finished Shadow of the Fox this January, and then as soon as I was done with it, I immediately went to go hunt down the second book, and I'm still listening to it. I have it's a 16-hour book, and I was so excited to find that out. One thing I do want you guys to know about me is I only read audiobooks. Why did I think it was a good idea to film on a Friday afternoon after a week of teaching? It's okay. So, I only listen to audiobooks when I'm driving to work. But yeah, I only listen to audiobooks when I'm traveling to work, and that is the only time because there are sometimes like some audiobooks, although I am gonna stop this, I don't buy audiobooks anymore that are about 7 or 8 hours. Money-wise, I don't think it's worth it. Like when I got Soul of the Sword, and I saw that it was almost a 16-hour audio book. I thought, man, the retail price for that is probably like over 30 bucks. That's worth it to me because I have my Audible account, so you know, you get a credit. Anyway, so I thought it was more worth it to get a 16-hour book because it's more expensive than if I actually purchased it for the full retail price. Do you guys see what I'm saying? So I only listen to them when I'm driving to work. I don't listen to them any other time. Like when I'm running errands, I'm jumping in and out of the car. And anyway, so I'm listening to Soul of the Sword right now. Another book that I'm currently reading, and I don't have because I'm currently reading any book that I'm currently reading and it has like a beautiful, you know, cover to it, I take the cover off. I ruined the cover to my Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows book, and so that's why I just take the covers off ever since that point. So I'm currently reading the physical book of The Lady's Guide to Petticoats and Piracy. This is the second book in the Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue series. So this book is from the perspective of Monty's sister Felicity and her journey in trying to get into physician school to become a doctor. As you guys can see, I'm over halfway done right now. I'm really enjoying this book. I personally think it's hilarious. I thought the first book was extremely hilarious. I could not stop laughing. That book was awesome. So when I heard that the second book, The Lady's Guide to Petticoats and Piracy, came out, I thought, I have to get it. I texted my dad, I screenshotted it on Amazon, and I texted my dad, I'm like, Daddy, can you buy this for me for Christmas? And he did. So I am pretty certain by the end of next week, this book will be done. My goal typically is to read 50 pages every weekday, and then on the weekend try to read 100 pages. So this book definitely should be done by next week. So that's one book I started in January, but I'm gonna definitely finish in February. Next book is, it's on my Kindle, so I still have this Kindle came out almost 10 years ago, 9 years ago. My grandparents got this for me for my 21st birthday. Go figure, 21st birthday, and I asked them for a Kindle. So on my Kindle, I'm currently reading the ebook, The Heir, which is the 4th book in the Selection series. So the Selection series, I listened to the first 3 books. I have all of them in my Audible. I listened to all 3 of them. And for the reason I explained earlier, I was doing research, and The Heir, the audio book, is only about 7.5 hours, and I thought, I'm sorry, I don't want to use one of my Audible credits to buy a 7.5 hour book, you know, because it's the same price. Like if I'm paying $15 or $14.99 a month for 1 credit, I want to make sure that I'm getting my credits worth. Like I said, Soul of the Sword, 16-hour audiobook, probably $30 retail price. That was worth it to me. So I instead got the ebook. So I'm currently reading it. I'm about 50% done, so I'm halfway done. This is a book I will definitely finish by next week as well. And I'm really excited to finish it because I do want to read the 5th book in the series, and I will definitely get the ebook for that one as well. So with that being said, let me go to books that I have not started that I do want to read in February. So I do have an OwlCrate subscription, and I still get it every month, and I am so far behind. So the next book after I was done with The Lady's Guide to Petticoats and Piracy that I wanted to read is Pride. This book was in my October 2018 OwlCrate subscription box. That is how far behind I am. I do have an explanation. So I was still receiving my OwlCrates every month. However, I did not read for fun while I was getting my master's. So during semester and school time, I did not have time for reading. I was working a full-time job. I was also going to school full-time for my master's. So in class, I was in class 3 nights a week, and then all the homework, I just did not have time to personally read for fun, which killed me. I read for fun during breaks, but my winter break was 3 weeks long, and then my summer break was 4 months long for winter break or for summer break, from May to August. So I only read during breaks, and I got my master's. I'm not saying that I don't regret my master's. but it did, like, that is the reason why I'm so far behind in my Owl Crate reading list. So you'll definitely see a lot of books, like all of these books, and then maybe one book that's a non-Owl Crate, but like these are all from the Owl Crates that I haven't, you know, subscription boxes that I haven't gotten a chance to read yet. So after the Ladies Guide to Petticoats and Piracy, I'm gonna read Pride. This one should not take me that long to finish. I think it was like barely 300-ish pages. 289, yeah, it's not even 300 pages, so I should definitely finish this in under a week. So there's one book that I would like to read during the month of February. After that one, the next on the Owl Crate subscription is this book, Girls of Paper and Fire. I've heard so many people talk about this book. The Fairy Loot edition was, like, I saw pictures of it on Instagram and it was absolutely gorgeous. So, I mean, I know the Owl Crate one is not as gorgeous, but I'm so glad that I got the book because everyone was like literally talking about it. And I was kind of upset that I couldn't read it at the time because I'm trying to go in order that I received the books and the subscription. So after Pride, Girls of Paper and Fire is up next. I know the second book already came out and I heard the third book is coming out this year, so I'm really far behind. My thing with series is, so I like getting the physical copy of the first book in the series. That way, if I don't like it, I can unhaul it and donate it. So that's how I like to do structure, like that's how I like to structure series. The selection was kind of the exception to the rule. But anyway, so I know this is the first book, and reading the first book, like I can decide if I want to continue to read this series or not. The second book of this one is absolutely gorgeous, so if I do like the first one and I do want to continue reading the series, then I'll be more than happy to buy the physical copy of the second book. So normally when I read a series, like I said, the first book I like getting the physical copy. That way if I don't like it, I unhaul it. And then typically if I want to continue the series, I either buy it on Audible or I buy an ebook. Just so that way I don't have a whole bunch of books sitting on a bookshelf. I do love to read, but I also still want to be conscious, you know, of the earth and everything. So if I want to continue a series, I will either buy the ebook or I will purchase the Audible version and continue the series that way. However, this one I might make an exception to because that second book was absolutely, I see it at Target taunting me all the time and it's absolutely gorgeous. We shall see. I gotta read this one first to see if I like the first book. So that's another book that I want to read during the month of February. All right, the next book is Amber and Dusk. This is another Owl Crate book. I don't know too much about this book. I don't know, I don't want to read the synopsis or because this video is already getting too long. So this is just another book that I do want to read. I didn't hear that many people talking about it. However, since I got it in my Owl Crate subscription box, I don't want it to go to waste, and then if I don't like it, I'll just unhaul it. Next one is The Gilded Wolves. So this one I did, like it was in my Owl Crate subscription box last year, like earlier last year, like, yeah, it was like right at the beginning of 2019. However, I do see a lot of people, like this is on their TBR list. So I don't feel bad for not reading it because not many people have read it. And then I've heard mixed reviews about it. Like a lot of the booktubers have been saying that this book got a lot of mixed reviews. So we shall see. I'm kind of excited to read this one too. And then after that one, the next on the Owl Crate list is Crown of Feathers. I haven't heard anybody talk about this book. And this is like a pretty giant, hefty book. I love thick books. I don't know why. I just think the longer the better. But I haven't heard anybody talk about this book, so we shall see if I like it or not. I do like the purple edges. And then the one after that is Four Dead Queens. I haven't heard anybody talk about this book either. I am excited. Like, this is really pretty. Look at that. I haven't heard anybody talk about this book either, so I'm just a little curious to see how this book ends up being, and this is a pretty thick book as well, So those are my Owl Crate books that I do want to read for the month of February. And then there's some other options that I want as well. One non-Owl Crate book that I do want to read this month is Scythe. I've been hearing everybody talking about the third book in the series. What was it called? The Toll. And then, so the third book in the arc, so this series is called Arc of a Scythe. And I've been hearing everybody talk about the third book. Like, everyone is nonstop talking about that third book. So it finally piqued my interest. I'm like, okay, I have to see why everyone is talking about this book. So I bought the first book in the series. This is a paperback. And, you know, for my explanation before, since this is the first book, I bought the physical form because if I don't like it, then I'll just unhaul it. So there you go. I'm finally jumping on the bandwagon and reading, at the very least, the first book to see why everyone is so hyped up about this series. I am a little excited though. I may or may not, I do want my dad to read this book too because it does take place in the future and it has a very interesting plot line. I think he will enjoy this book as well. My dad and I, we both love to read. That's where I get my love of reading from. And then I do have a list, and then if I can, oh, here we go. So once I'm done listening to The Soul of the Sword on Audible, this sample came in one of my Owl Crate subscriptions. So this is the second book to the Shadow Game series. So the first one was Ace of Shades, and the second one is King of Fools. So I did like Ace of Shades. Here's a little picture on the back of Ace of Shades. I did like the first one. I was contemplating on buying the second one or not. And then like I said, I did research. I have the physical copy of Ace of Shades. Ooh, excuse me. And I did some research, like, do I want to buy the ebook or do I want to buy or get the Audible? I got the Audible because this book, the physical form, is 608 pages, I want to say. Considering what I want to read in February. So that is why I chose to get the Audible version instead. The Audible version is 17 hours. I actually got really excited. I was like, 17 hours! That book is gonna last me 2 weeks. So yes, once I'm done with Soul of the Sword, I have King of Fools already downloaded on my Audible app, and it's all set and ready to go. So that way when I'm done, I think I have like 5-ish hours or something, 5.5 hours left of Soul of the Sword, and then I will be definitely starting that one within the next week. So I'm probably not going to be listening to a lot of audiobooks. Normally I finish about 3 or 4 audiobooks a month, and that's because they end up being about 7 or 8 hours, maybe 10 hours total. So since these are a little bit longer and I only listen to them on car rides, I'm not gonna be able to listen to as many audiobooks as normal. So at the very least, I do want to listen to King of Fools in the car ride in the month of February. And then I decided to pick an ebook as well. I noticed, I was looking through my Kindle, I have so many ebooks on here downloaded that I never read or started to read but never finished. So I'm trying to challenge myself. I will continue, like if I find a series that I like and I want to continue to read it, I will either buy the ebook or I will get it on Audible. However, I do want to challenge myself to read as many of my books on my Kindle reader and like the books that I already have. So one book on here that I started and I never got to finish was Splintered by A.G. Howard. I decided to pick that book because I was actually watching somebody's reading vlog on YouTube earlier today while I was at work. I do that. So like while I'm at work and I'm trying to, get work done, like I was grading final exams today, and I have sometimes YouTube videos playing in the background. So I'll listen to YouTube videos and then get my work done. And I was listening and watching to somebody's reading vlog, and she had the physical copy of Splintered, and it kind of made me want to pick it up again. So I do want to finish it during the month of February. I'm already halfway done with it. I don't know if I want to start over again or if I should pick up where I left off. I do actually have a pretty good memory when it comes to books. Like, if I pick up where I left off and I read a few chapters, I can kind of remember what I already read. And I do remember, like, it is a memorable book. I do remember what happened. Like, I think Alice's mom went crazy or something, and then once I read a few chapters in, I will probably remember what happened in the first half of the book. And then if I don't, I'll just start it over. Not a big deal. So there is my TBR for the month of February. I'm hoping to read at least, I'm just going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'm going to I want to read at least 8 books and then listen to one audiobook during the month of February. Alright guys, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm hoping to finally catch up on my OwlCrate list because I do want to catch up on that and then start expanding on series. Like, one book in the future that I do want to read is Skyward, so I do want to get the first book of that, and I want to play catch up to everyone. And now since semester 1 is over and we're no longer running around like a bunch of chickens with their heads cut off, I can hopefully finally like really start diving in and reading more and more again because I miss it so much. Alright guys, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Bye!